if you watched my earlier video, I'll just say this to get out of the way, you will, all the way to the end, you'll see I promised you a second video tonight. So here it is. These are my industrial tanks. These engines were built using spare parts. These engines were built using mostly spare parts and odds and ends and junk and hoopla, doopity doopala, that kind of stuff. This is just a repainted Charlie. Anyways, so we'll start with the odd one out. And the one with the only basis. This engine is based off a Manning Waddle tank. I'm probably saying that wrong. I am sorry. I am not British. I am Scottish. And I've lived in America my whole life. Anyways, this is just a repainted Charlie with a James face. I was careful not to get the lamp in the top because I thought it was a good feature for an industrial engine. CCC, I think it was Chatham Coal Company. It's a coal engine, hence why he has the, I don't know what they're called. I'm sorry, I'm not British. The striped buffered beam. I'm sure it has a different name. He has a number 2. I do not have a number 1 built. Kind of like, oh, the old engine was just scrapped because he was too old. And he's just red, really. Yellow lining, white lettering, yellow buffer beam. That's all I can really say about this boy. He's kind of dirty in the back. I wanted to leave some dirt up top if you look. That's kind of dirty. Buffer beam smudged. Just kind of filthy. Anyways, that's enough about him. These 3 come as a set for me, because if you look at these 2, GN Steel, they're loosely based off a steel company in real life. I forget what they're called. I looked up British steel companies, and something similar came out, so I changed it a little bit, I think. Anyways, we'll start with number 1. He is an older saddle tank. I used bits and pieces. His cab is from a Target wooden train. I don't know what they're really called. His rear dome is clay. His boiler, and saddle tank, is from a old Percy. I used bits and pieces of for the wheels, smoke box, and hoopla. The wheels are also from a Percy, which is, I guess it's mostly Percy. Anyway, I needed the funnel, so I had to cut that off. It's just a small piece of wood, painted black. Doesn't look too bad from a little bit of a distance. Short, damaged funnel, you could say. I gave him little scars and freckles just to make him less Thomas-y looking. Painted the wheels black. He's a darker green. GN Steel is on both sides. Along with a number 1, I gave it a tan lining. And that's about it. I gave him a little hooks at the back for shovels and tools and hoopla, you will. And a red buffer beam. That's all I can really say about this boy. He is an industrial steelworking engine. His counterpart, however, is a bit more interesting. So this little engine is my only Fireless engine. Now, if you don't know what a Fireless engine is, I had to look it up myself. It's an engine that doesn't have a smoke butt. Well, he has a smoke butt. I don't know. It's weird. They don't have a fire. They run on pressure. It's basically like a balloon is the best way I can use it. A balloon, you fill it with air, and then you let it go, and it runs around. The best way I can think of this. So I have this engine as the number 2. He's a little smaller, if not the same size. I gave him a yellow buffer beam. Since he is fireless, he has no funnel. He has a dome, and that's about it. I believe it's the Target engine again. The cab. I cut it a little bit, make it a little different. It's all Percy saddle tank here. You need the wheels. You can sell it to Emily's Tenda. Oh, it's Emily's Percy Tender. So name him what you'd like. You can call him Tender or whatever. He's a number 2 for the engine. And none of these are named. Tell me what you want to name them in the comments. And that's about it. Fairly simple custom using pieces of scrap I had laying around. Time for another engine I used out to make out of a Percy. This engine is the replacement. This engine replaced numbers 1 and 2, and it's just known as number 3. This engine is a 062 tank engine. Blue with white lining. She comes, replaces the other 2. She laughs at them, saying that she is the future, and then years later she's cut up for scrap. I used a Thomas wheelbase. I used a push-along wheel in the back. I used an Emily push-along face, a Mighty Max smoke box, 2 Percy tanks, a cab from an engine, don't forget, and I extended the coal bunker a little bit after cutting it down. And yeah, that's all I can really say about number 3. I wanted to give her GN steel too, but I figured if I left her blank, I could use her in background shots and other things. So that's what I can really say about these 4. They are all industrial engines. I'll move you closer. They all work in a factory. Oh, sorry. Like I said, you may see number 4 in a background shot, number 3 in a background shot somewhere, but probably not. And these are the industrial tanks. That's all I can really say. They're all ugly. Especially number 2. GN Steel number 2. He is hideous. I used a Neo face. Ugh. Anyways, that's been Tier 2000. Thank you for watching.